Sunday night, engine screaming, fists up tight, disco popping, somebody said, get you some before we're dead. Lap one, chaos, three wide deep, somebody blink, somebody weep, rear view mirror full of smoke, cut me off, I won't lift, that'll do it, there he goes again. You dive in low, I hold my line, chrome to chrome at the finish line. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all do it. Sunday night and tempers burning, lead race live, and we're still 3 wide. You wanna see my dog? Yeah, that eagle on my grill is boss. Talk is cheap when the mic is hot, but back it up when the track gets tight. Slide chops in from outer space. Net code give it, net code takes. Somebody's yelling in the chat. Who drove through me? Imagine that. White flags flying, hearts beat fast. One more corner, don't lift that gas. 191 is racing, don't you cry. If you can't hang, move aside, get you some. Hold it wide, get wrecked, get nut, enjoy the ride. Kick me out, that'll do it. Back to the pits, we all knew it. Sunday night and tempers burning, league race live, and we're still 3 wide. Some got skill and some got luck. Some just scream, Scotty, wake up. And men's watching, finger on mute. Somebody cross the racing route. 3 laps down, but still we fight. Short track war under neon lights. 191 racing, say it loud. We ain't here to run in a crowd. Get you some, hold it flat. If you spin me, we'll talk about that. That'll do it. Lights come up, so let's begin. Green flag drops on a Sunday night, engine screaming, fists up tight, disco popping, somebody said, get you.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the 191 Motorsports as we are here at Pocono Raceway. Only 3 turns here. What turn 4 is always what we got to say when we come here to Pocono. There's no turn 4 here. It is just the tricky triangle, 3 turns, all designed off of, based off of other tracks turns. But it is very unique, and some consider this thing kind of a road course in the shape of an oval, and it is not easy for some. Should be a good one. Looking forward to it. It is going to be 75 laps here around the tricky triangle, so sit tight, get your favorite beverage, get a snack. It's hopefully going to be a good one out here tonight. Carl and we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, welcome home to Pocono.
I'm back home. Yeah, home track Pocono. It wasn't too far from where I used to live when I was growing up as a kid. About an hour. It is definitely out in the middle of nowhere. So if you've ever been to Pocono, you know exactly what I mean. But had good times on both infield and in the stands. So the best time was probably Fridays and Saturdays, watching the qualifying, all stuff. But best place to watch the race is actually from your couch if you want to see the race. But either way, the environment's awesome out there, and just like any track, any super speedway, it's kind of hard to see the whole thing. So at home is the best place to be. But tonight we're going to be here at Pocono 75 tracks as they finish up qualifying. Does look like Michael Casey trying to get one started here tonight as he's the professional pole stand sitter right now.
Yeah, not sure if maybe some drivers are sitting at home here tonight and not in their rig. As looks like we only got 14 drivers set to take the green flag here tonight. I'm sure some partaking in the real life racing of the Daytona 500 being today, which is over by now. So I'm not sure what they're doing. Maybe they're having a late dinner,
faster flight,
or maybe they partook a little bit early and enjoyed themselves with some adult beverages, and now they don't feel like drinking and night racing. So I
mean, this has to deal with the drinking and my experience when I was 11 years old in Pocono, turn one, down on top of my dad's truck on a platform that he built. So we're sitting above, and we had these people right behind us. Obviously they were drinking. They knew the people in front of us, and they had a 3-man slingshot, one of those water balloon ones. And they got our attention. So they waved us down, and they hauled off. And this water balloon comes slinging by us about 30 miles an hour. Slugged their buddy in the side of the face. The funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, definitely a ton of fun, on the track, off the track. But yeah, some people obviously have enjoying it. Now NASCAR is now live. Carl, I did hear that football next season, the Super Bowl is going to be on Valentine's Day.
Good luck with that. I'm sure there's going to be quite a few couples that may not agree with that at all. But
I'm just saying, it's what I heard. I heard it's going to be yeah. I mean, I guess the good part is you do get the day off, the day after. That's probably why a lot of people like to go to the Daytona 500, especially with tomorrow being President's Day. So that's a bunch of people don't have to work, including myself. So we'll take the holiday as we get them. But it does look like we're wrapping up things here, and the qualifying is over. So I guess what we need to do is show them qualifying results here tonight. Only 14 drivers on the docket here tonight, and Jason Crispin is going to snag the pole here tonight in the number 98 with Michael Casey on the outside. Billy Rickett up there in P number 3. Can he manage to get that win here? That's elusive win. Can we get to talk to Billy Rickett? Matthew Scruffy Jordan up in P number 4. Zane Bierman, Scott Henderson, Richard Hartman, Bradley Worley, Paul Helms, Dale Garner Jr., Wade Enyart out there, Tony Brennan, Levi Poland, and Matthew Radford. 14-car field for an awesome track. Hopefully their night goes great here and make up some points on maybe some of their rivals that they have as this season is starting to come down to an end.
Well, I think what may make it worse here is the fact that when you go on the core website, so again, anybody out there that wants to check out the schedule for 191 or for any of the other series that we cover here in CRN, you can check them out at coreracingleague.com. But so go to the standings for the point standings for 191. You can sort it by different things, sorted by the points, obviously sorted by average start, average finish, point of penalty points, so on and so forth. But when you sort it by wins, you have obviously the 8 drivers that have logged at least a win here this season. And we mentioned Billy Rickett so many times that it's ad nauseum, week in and week out. I think even the core website realizes the issues, because when you sort by wins, of all the drivers that have raced the race this season, it has Billy Rickett all the way at the bottom. So it goes to tell you, even the core website thinks, you know what, he's not going to get a win.
We love you, Billy.
All the way down here at the bottom. So we'll see if the Sevens got it here tonight. But before we kick this thing off here, as the drivers getting ready to head to their pace lap here, and we'll get this thing underway after the 2.5 miles of pacing. We're going to go ahead and bring in the man behind the curtains here, the one that's going to be throwing the comp caution, and hopefully that's it here tonight. We'll see with the 14 drivers. But Daniel Big Daddy Pinkston in the booth with us. Daniel, welcome back to the booth here one more time.
Thank you. Hopefully I don't fat finger the buttons, nor my apprentice. Hopefully it's only the designated caution tonight.
Well, it's certainly one that it can bring cautions, and sometimes it's right here where they are, right out of turn number one. It can get a little bit hairy getting off of turn number one. Is there some certain spots that you're kind of watching for action to happen, or you think with the little bit smaller field here tonight, it should be a lot of green flag racing?
I'm hopeful for a lot of green flag racing. Makes my job a little bit easier, but I honestly I think I'll be watching turn two. The exit of turn two, if you don't hit it just right, it can be a real big doozy.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you get to the racing action here, and hopefully we'll only talk to you maybe once during the comp caution and not other times. But either way, thank you for everything that you do here for 191. Again, it's a thankless job most of the time, and you get crap more than you get praise.
We love you.
So, we thank you.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
All right, that is Daniel Pinkston, the man that's behind the curtains here. He's going to be running the admin as usual, but we are out of turn number 3. Forget turn number 4. We don't need it. We just need Barney to wave that green flag, which he is doing, and we are racing here at Pocono. Not sure what happened there to Levi Poland.
He's trying to be at full speed.
Yeah, wait for me. I got little legs. Well, he's trying to catch the back of the field right now, and just maybe might do so, just to get a sniff of the draft. And looks like he's going to do so as they head off into turn number 1. Mike Casey takes the lead on the outside over Jason Crispin as they all make it through onto the Long Pond Straight.
Yeah, that's one thing about the night. We're going to see most cars kind of together, as long as they can stay within that draft. It's one thing I like about this track. It's the length of a super speedway, but the drivers have the ability to actually kind of break away and get out there on their own. It's not one that's like necessary to have that draft. It definitely helps to be in it, but once it's broken, it is hard to catch. But good run so far. Michael Casey getting the lead here early on. Is going to come down the front stretch, long front stretch here, and take that initial lap lead, excuse me. Matthew, it'd be Jason Crispin, Matthew Scruffy Jordan there in P number 3. Zane Bierman up there in the top 5, and a big mover early on already is Bradley Worley up 6 spots, but Matthew Hafford up 7.
Yeah, Radford started in the back of the pack, technically shotgun in the field, even though Levi Poland was way back there, but already halfway through the field for the 97, so maybe just not a good qualifying effort for the 97. We did see the man right behind him, Scott Henderson, didn't exactly have a good entry now for 2 times in a row here in the no-dose number 72 into turn number 2 with the tunnel turn there, and not maybe understanding it yet in the in the draft here in with these cars, because it definitely handles differently once you get some cars in front of you. You definitely can get some aero push from running behind these cars. But yeah, I mean, it's a track that you would think with all this traffic down the front stretch, down the Long Pond stretch, you would think that you wouldn't be able to break away as much, but it's kind of akin to Indianapolis, where you will see some kind of pockets of cars breaking away, and you already see right now the top 4, and what's the top 3, or I should say it's top 3 now, but Zane Bierman looks like he's going to hold on. We've got a little bit tight going through turn number 1, brush the wall, but side by side now, out of turn number 2, and down the short chute to turn 3, and it's going to be a change for the lead. Pole sitter Jason Crispin takes back the spot, and this is where you'll see some different lines through turn number 3. You really want to kind of get down below that yellow line. You don't want to get so far as the rumble strips down there. You can hit them. It's not going to kill you. It's just not going to help your speed and your turn through the corner. But typically to have the best entry and exit through the corner, you do want to get that car all the way down underneath the yellow line. And here in turn number 1, you definitely don't want to, because that car is going to want to push enough out of turn 1 as it is. You clip that apron down there below the yellow line, it's not going to be fun.
No, it's definitely not fun at all. But Carl, one thing we're not talking about, and it can be a hindrance on some of these drivers, is tires. Tires are pretty big here at Pocono, and you can see the 97 working his way up there quick. Man, Rafter's got a fireball on it. He's using up all of them guys. Hopefully he has a few left here in a few short laps, but we're on lap 4 of 75. You can pretty much pound the heck out of your tires and car probably for about 10 laps, and then after that it really does fade away. You get a little insider on some of the fuel, but I'm not going to share those numbers as of right now. I'll wait until after we get our green flags, but we won't be seeing any stops prior to our comp caution, we'll put it that way. And then there will be at least one stop for the remainder of the race, but looking good here early on as they're fighting hip here for the front. We're on board with Zane Bierman now, kind of hugging the wall there, doing a good job, just kind of holding the spot at the moment. I think just waiting to see, but you do have that 97 Matthew Rafford. He's continuing much march forward.
He's been in everybody's mirror here tonight, and about to be moving in front of yet another car, trying to move up 10 spots now to take his car up into 4th position. But I mean, you talk about Pocono being 2.5 miles. It's not a super speedway because it's not high banked. You're not flat out here in pack racing. But it is very different. Indianapolis maybe doesn't necessarily suit one type of driver or another. But, we talk a lot about short track specialists or road course specialists, super speedway specialists even. Here at Pocono, it's kind of a different dimension here. And there are drivers that enjoy racing at Pocono. There are Pocono specialists. It's not the easiest track for some, and some drivers absolutely hate it. Some drivers, look at this track almost like a like a flat track, like in New Hampshire or something like that. They can't figure out what needs to be done to get fast around this track. But some just have a feel for it, and they can put their car wherever they want, and they can figure out how to get the most speed out of it.
Yeah, it has the feel of many different tracks, like you're saying. The corners really pose drivers problems as far as I know, setups in real life. You can get some drivers, they'll even do some shifting, some downshifting when they come to turn 1 to help that car rotate. It was I think it was back in the early 90s. I forget who it was. I think it was Alan Kowicki. Ended up doing a lot of downshifting through 1 and went on to win that race that I was a part of actually being there. But it was a great track here, and there's a lot of different strategies. It's wide enough. There's plenty of racetrack to try to get those moves. But Carl, just like any track, each one has its quirks, and you have to get out there. You have to get your laps on there, and it's just experience. So once you finally pick it up, then you can be quick. But you're not going to get quicker unless you get out there. And feel sorry for the drivers that have missed tonight, because there's obviously always a chance to get a learning opportunity here at Pocono Raceway. You can see Wade a little bit tight coming out of turn number 3, coming down the front stretch, but still tucked up right behind Richard Hartman as they battle back here for P number 13. Up front, there is a battle for the lead here with Michael Casey and Jason Christman. So the front still very hot at the moment, and the number 97 of Matthew Radford is really pushing hard, trying to get to the lead here even prior to the comp caution. What a run out of turn number 1 for that number 97. Where did Crispin go? There he is.
He's going so fast, he's blinking out of everybody's screen here as he's trying to pull away here after retaking the lead from the 6 of Casey. But definitely keeping an eye on that 55. I mean, we talked about how well he's been doing lately and all the series that we see him broadcasting in. But last week he was finally able to crack through and become the 8th different winner here over the first 15 races, which means that we are down to the final 5. They're in the home stretch here of this season. Only 5 races to go, including tonight, and we'll be wrapping this thing up. We got again tonight here at Pocono. Next week we'll be at Homestead. Then they'll have Iowa, Talladega, and then the finale at Vegas. But the point standings themselves are anything but finished out, as it is very close at the top. Levi Poland leads by 6 points over Michael Casey, and then another 53 points back to Billy Rickett, another 5 back to Matthew Jordan, and then Justin Spengler and Travis Noble tied for 5th in the points heading into tonight. So certainly very close for the top 2, but really the top 5 all still well within mathematical range to get up there and mix it up. If Levi Poland has a rough race, which hasn't happened that much here this season. I mean, his average start is 6th, average finish is 6th. The only one better in both categories is Mike Casey with average start of 5th, and an average finish of 3rd, but it's those 4 wins. Levi Poland, most wins out of anybody this season, doubling up on the next close competitor being 4 different drivers with 2. Walter Saucier, Jason Chrisman, Matthew Jordan, and Michael Casey, all with 2 wins. And then you got Potter, Brennan, and Bierman, the ones with single wins. But you see right now, looking at the Skittles and even looking live here at the track, we're already starting to see some breakaways here. We're already starting to see the field spread out. Now, obviously, it means really nothing right now. 10 laps in, just about halfway through the run here before we get to the comp caution. So everybody's going to be joining themselves back up here. So maybe a chance right now for these drivers to kind of test it out, see how it is in the draft, see how it is. You're running behind somebody, see different lines that you can run. Definitely don't need to put your car in a bad situation. Just get yourself to the comp caution, get that first pit stop done and dusted, and then figure it out for the last 50.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, burn up your tires here quick. Ooh, ouch! Zane bounced off the wall there before going down the backstretch. But yeah, you can get away with that once in a while. But yeah, drivers get the chance to kind of push their car to limits, and I think that's what Matthew Raffer has done. Obviously, right now, and he came right up through the field pretty easily. Now, kind of settled in behind Mike Casey and trying to move forward. But it's like, how far can he push them tires on a lap 11 to 75? And I talked about it just a little bit. You can really kind of push those tires for about 10 to 12 laps, and they're if you push them too hard, now he's probably might be struggling a little bit. Might feel a little tight coming out of turn number 3 for sure. We'll see if he can wheel that thing around here. See if he can has enough left to maybe catch or pass the 6 or even that number 98 here before that comp caution, to see what kind of moves that 97 has. And you can see that Crispin bouncing off the walls will definitely help the 97.
Not sure if Rickett did as well back there. I told you, it's turn 1. The exit turn 1 can get very tight, and you need to make sure you're taking it the right way. So I could pass here for 4th place as Rickett is going to make the move on Zane Bierman to move into 4th place. But yeah, I mean, getting back to Radford, he's the only other driver with a better average finish than your points leader Levi Poland is. He's averaging a 5th place finish, but it's really been the qualifying. His average start is 10th place, and you've seen here tonight started shotgun on the field, dead last, and not sure what exactly it is in qualifying. That's kind of been his bugaboo, but it's not worked out for qualifying one way or another, and maybe that's kind of cost him a little bit in the points in the long run. But he always finds a way to get that 97 towards the front, always factors in here, and looks like he's already trying to factor himself in here tonight. Did we lose the 97 here again?
Bring up your chat, see if he was disconnected. But yeah, I see Crispin blinked out here for quite a while, and it could be a disconnect there for the number 98, which would be a shame. I don't see him on the track at the moment, but so that would put the 6 of Mike Casey up to the front, with Matthew Rafford and P number 2, Billy Rickett in 3rd. Zane Bierman now back up to 4th. Levi Poland and then is up to now 5th, and Scriffy Jordan up in 6th. Dale Gar Jr. sits in 7th. Bradley Worley and Paul Helms and Scott Henderson for your top 10. See Scott come out with a new paint scheme here tonight. Wade back there in P number 11, and then here's Jason Chrisman.
There it is. Jason Chrisman just popped up right now that he has dropped from back at loss, so he is now out of the race. Hopefully he can get back in here and maybe only be down a lap or 2, and I'm sure with computer issues, Big Daddy Pinkston will try and get him back on the lead lap if he can get back in here in time. And it's a shame because he was the pole sitter, stretching out his lead here a little bit in the early running, but now it's handed over to Mike Casey. Matthew Radford right now trying to hold off the 7 of Billy Rickett. Looks like Richard Hartman got a black flag for coming out there. I see Tony Brennan has a meatball flag as well. Didn't see what happened to Tony Brennan earlier on in this race, but he's in the pits right now. Not sure if it's blown engine or what the case was. I didn't see any kind of accidents for Tony Brennan, but it looks like he is now back out on the track. Still waiting to see the 98 back in here as Richard Hartman now comes in to serve his penalty. Already down a lap himself, so right now in the lucky dog position, as long as he can get through the pits here clean and just run the next 10 laps, stay ahead of the group. He'll be back out on the lead lap once the comp caution goes through. But right now, it is Mike Casey out front, Matthew Radford, Billy Rickett, Zane Bierman, and Levi Pullen for your top 5. Then you got Jordan Garner, Worley, Henderson, and Helms for your top 10.
Yeah, you can see. I think I called Max. Driving extremely fast here for those opening laps. Of Billy getting runs on the 97. I think just trying to keep it cautious at the moment. Doesn't want to wreck him or the number 97, but has been able to get kind of an edge on that number 97. Maybe trying to push him along, try to get a little bit closer to Michael Casey, and not let Mike get out there, but just run that nice, low, easy line. Billy Rickett's always been one to kind of sit there just once he gets in certain areas. I think is like the long green flag runs has been his nemesis here tonight, not being able to put him at the very front. We've had him in the podium many a times, but we are doing good here so far. We're on lap 16 of 75.
And unfortunately, still no sign of the 98 Jason Christman. So chalk it up to mechanical failure here tonight for your pole sitter and early leader of the race. Hopefully, you can still get back in within a lap or two and still maybe have a chance to get back on the lead lap. And there we go. It looks like now finally connecting back in. Hopefully, the connection is a little bit better this time when he's in here and he can not blink out again. But you see right there, a touch of the grass from Bradley Worley. And you hear Ryan Moore here with Paul Helms utilizing the downshift there a little bit through turn number 3. Turn number 3 can be certainly a very tricky corner because the exit and getting onto the front stretch, the ball kind of sneaks up on you how quick it really turns out of turn 3 to be in the straightaway on the front stretch. So if you're not exiting it correctly and you're going up a little bit too sharply out of the corner, it can bite you just as much as right here in turn 1. You see Worley getting a little bit tight. Looks like Helms may try and help him out down the back, down the long pond straight.
And like somebody give you a nice shove to kind of move you along and pick up that lack of momentum there that he lost coming off of 1. And you just got to be careful there through 2. Let that car settle in, and it's just a lot of throttle control, a little bit of bump drafting going on there from Paul to Bradley, trying to catch back up to Scott Henderson, who's leading this little pack here. As we ride on board here, I'll go ahead and look back. By the way, you see behind, got a little tight. And like you said, it's a little bit different, like riding behind somebody. Your car gets that arrow wash. And you just can't get the dang thing to turn, and it really will drive you crazy if you don't, manage them tires early on, and you got to ride around that dirty air chasing people. But Mike Casey leads this thing. Matt Radford fighting with Billy Rickett. Billy Rickett, you see right there, trying to make, just keeps looking, putting that pressure on that number 97.
I have a chance here. We're going to bring in the race control here, Daniel Pinkston, and try and chat with him if I'm able to. Looks like I can drag him, but I can't because he's in the race control booth right now. So I'll try and ping him and see if we can get him in here to chat about Jason Christman, who looks like he's back in the race here, back out on the track. Certainly several laps down, unfortunately, and looking like right now 4 laps down. So we'll try and see if we can get a chance to talk to Mr. Pinkston and see if he's maybe going to get some wave rounds to get him back up on the lead lap if he's got a clean connection again. But it looks like we are going to lose somebody from the race. Tony Brennan is going to get a disqualification here. Not sure if I didn't realize he had a meatball or what the case was, but he is going to get the old DQ here. So he will finish 14th here tonight, providing Jason Christman can stay connected long enough to pass him within a few laps here. But either way, we will go ahead now and bring in Daniel Pinkston. And just wanted to kind of check with you. Obviously, Jason Christman having some connection issues again here tonight. Once we get to the comp caution here, will this be something that he'll be able to work his way back onto the lead lap?
Yes, sir. I was just letting the drivers know. So once we go under our comp caution, we're going to get him back as many laps as we can. If we can get him back to the lead lap, he's going to form up as the tail of the field. Okay, so not going to be a situation where the caution gets extended to try and get him back on the lead lap for sure. Just kind of do what you can. If you can get back on the lead lap, great. If not, then we did the best we could. I think we'll play it by ear. If we only have to extend a one lap, then we will. But if it would take more than that, then it'll just be hope for another caution.
Well, hopefully the connection issues get situated and are good for him once again, because clearly he's got a fast number 98 out here. But either way, we'll let you get back to work here. I know you're about to shine here in a few laps and throw that first caution of the night.
Yes, sir.
All right, that again is our race control here tonight. Daniel, Big Daddy Pinkston, as we're getting close to the comp caution here. We got about 5 more laps to go. That was a little close. I'm not sure if that was a dust up for the 97 off the wall, off of turn at number 1. But see Rickett there in second, trying to run down Mike Casey. Casey's been leading since the disconnection for the number 98, and it looks like maybe still dealing with some issues as blinking out a little bit here and there. He has made the pass on Tony Brennan, still out there on the track, but hopefully everything can get cleared up for him. I know sometimes it can be a little rough immediately when you're in the race, and then sometimes it clears up over a little bit of time, or sometimes it can be like me, like last week, where it was perfectly clear, and then halfway through the race it decided to get wonky. So who knows? But either way, we are going to have our comp caution here in a couple laps. One thing we talk about with cautions, some tracks you can go down a lap, sometimes even 2 or more laps. But here at Pocono, this is one track where, kind of like Indianapolis, you're close to going down a lap. But typically, if you make a green flag pit stop, unless you're way far behind the leaders, you're going to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's a good place as far as distance, so the drivers can kind of come down and get that service made. And just reading the chat here, and they're talking about somebody needs to wake up, and I'm noticing that on number 72 it says no doze. So I'm just, maybe that's what they use to stay awake. Oh, here we are again. Right now, we're on lap number 23 of 75. So just a few more laps before that comp caution comes out here. Driver's doing a fantastic job starting from green from the start here to get that comp caution, get some people caught up. Hopefully, we'll get Jason Christmas back up there on the lead lap. Always stinks when the internet falls out on you and ruins your race, especially when you do so well to kind of get that pole and get up there. So hopefully you're able to get them up there and catch up. But obviously there's only a certain limited amount of time, and you heard from Pinkston about seeing what they can do. But look at this move right here. 1 lap to go here as we're going across the line to start lap number 24, and Billy Rickett is threatening for the lead.
Rickett started back there in 3rd position, so already had a pretty fast number 7, but fell back a little bit on the initial start. Now works his way past the 6, but little crossover action here from Casey heading onto the Long Pond Straight. We'll see if either of them decide to use any kind of side drive. Looks like Casey's going to fall back in line. Good enough run off the corner from the 7 of Rickett to hold on to the top spot. Heading now into the tunnel turn. One more time, they'll send it off down into turn number 3, and providing Rickett can get a good rotation through 3. You see him already stretching his legs here a little bit, getting a little bit of a gap. He should be your leader at the comp caution, and he'll be able to lead them down into pit road for their first stop. And we'll see if anybody decides to do anything crazy here. I mean, we talk about the tires wearing in a little bit. Pocono is a track where you can dabble with the with the 2 tire stops. I think this first stop here, you definitely want to take 4. You're going to be under caution. You're worst case scenario, you're going to lose some track position. You're going to fall back through the field, but everybody is still back there together. Now, when it comes to the green flag pit stop that we'll hopefully see in the second half of this race, does anybody try and go off strategies? Anybody try and take 2 tires and see if they can really gain some track position? I mean, you may lose it in the long run, but in the immediate, it could gain you some good valuable time. But right now, comp caution is out on the speedway. Billy Rickett, Michael Casey, Matthew Radford, Zane Bierman, and Levi Poland. The man has started well behind the field here, has made his way up into 5th. Then you got Dale Gardner Jr., Matthew Jordan, Paul Helms, Scott Henderson, and Bradley Worley for your top 10. Wade Enyart, Wade Enyart rounds out your drivers on the lead lap. Richard Hartman should be getting the wave around, and he'll get back on the lead lap himself. And then I'm sure we'll see a bunch of wave rounds for the 98 of Jason Christman to get him back on the lead lap. Now, the question is, and where it can get a little bit tricky, is Jason Christman will hopefully have enough time to get all of his laps back and get back on the lead lap again. He's down 4 laps right now, but will he have time to get the laps back and be able to make a pit stop? I don't think that's going to be the case. Pit stops will most likely be, or pit road will most likely be closed for him at that point, so he'd end up getting a black flag if he does. But the field's going to catch the pace car right here, and I'm sure we'll see those wave rounds start up and try and get the 98 back up there. And well deserved. I mean, it sucks when you have connection issues like we've seen from Christman. We've seen it before, where we're definitely seeing it a little bit strong here tonight. Good job keeping it off the wall right there to stay in it. But
get your laps back.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to wreck out, if you're going to be out of the race, you want it to be because of mechanical areas. You don't want the driver error. But either way, it's good to see him at least back in the race, and going to get ready to see our first round of pit stops.
Yeah, first round pit stops, I would imagine 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel, and then they'll be set and they'll be getting ready and kind of lock in, how to kind of manage them tires, Carl. You just seen there towards the end, the 7 seemed to get around, the 97 and the 6 with pretty, pretty easily, but I think the reason that the 7 fell back was he was just a little easier on the tires, and you've seen how that started to take, shape after when they got into the, those 20 laps range. Those drivers that kind of get out there and, you don't pace yourself. You're excited, you want to get the up positions. And I mean, can you blame Matt Rafford for pushing this car as hard as he did to get all the way up into P number 2 at one point? I mean, that's one way to kind of get this done. Obviously, knowing that at 25 laps, minimum or maximum, you're coming in to get fresh tires. So, good job there by utilizing all the tires they could. But yeah, I think this round is going to be a little bit different. You might have somebody out there trying to, try to get a spot here, as it does look like Mike Casey's going to fall a few spots. Maybe Zane Bierman and the 97 of Matt Rafford getting by Mike Casey there with that pit stop, and Casey was pretty much towards the front there. But coming out of the pits, Billy Rick's going to be your leader, and Matthew Rafford, Zane Bierman will move into P number 3. Mike Casey back to 4th, Dale Gardner Jr. in 5th, Matthew Scriffy Jordan back there in 6th, Levi Poland 7th, Bradley Worley in 8th, Paul Helms in 9th, Scott Henderson down a couple spots, but still in that top 10. Wade Enyart in 11th, Richard Hartman in 12th, and then you got Jason Christman trying to get those laps back in P number 13. So you can see on the screen he is currently 2 laps down, so still has to go around a couple more times with these drivers. He is the pink dot that's going around there in turn number 2 right at the moment, catching up to these leaders. We'll probably wing around here at least one more time to be at least 1 lap down. The lights are still on the pace car. They are single file, so unless they extend...
they'll be getting the 1 to green this time, Bob. We'll see if that gets extended here as the 98. See him going by on the outside, and keep it to the outside of the pace car, even though the pace car is an inanimate object for the time being. Still waiting for iRacing. I mean, even like an April Fool's joke would be nice. Just for
I can see.
April 1st, let me see it. I want it to happen.
I mean, you got to make it like a tank, though. If they hit it, it just wrecks your, destroy your car. Because
immediate meatball, yes.
Yeah, because
whether damage is on or not, like even races damages is turned off. No, I want damage to work for that.
Because you imagine people going out there hitting the pace car, spinning the pace car out. That's I think the last thing we need. I'm like, I can see all the memes, coming across. We'd have to capture some of them, but. Yeah, they need to make it a movable wall, and just kind of because a lot of people like to come up on the pace car, and pretend to rub the bumper, or you get drivers that drive inside the pace car. But yeah, that one day, just someday, it's gonna be just that solid object, I mean, they have AI cars out there. I mean, and you can hit them. Why not the pace car?
In the meantime, I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in here tonight. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank our sponsors here, Kim's Cups and more, and One Vision EMS and Transports. And good to see Richard Hartman able to get out here and race along with Wade Enyart, both the drivers that brought on the sponsors here for the series. And we'll see who's got the hot shoe now, because this 75 lap race is going to be down to less than a 50 lap shoot. As you see, the 98 get another wave around there. Looks like we will get the caution extended here 1 lap. They're going to let Jason Christman come into the pits. They'll probably get him clear that black flag and then get him waved around to get him back on the lead lap as well. So everybody's back on a level playing field. Whether these drivers at the front are going to like that or not, because that 98 definitely got some speed here tonight. We'll see if he can make his way back up to the front. But either way, it's been a good start to the race here. 25 laps caution free until we got the comp caution here. And everybody still out there running except for Tony Brennan. Got a meatball. And again, not sure why, what happened. Didn't see any kind of issues for the 65, but looks like not only did he get the meatball, but maybe he didn't realize he had the meatball and ended up getting DQ'd from the race. And
No Levi Poland.
our race admin, yeah. Now we got another one. Do we get him trucked here? I don't see any. Yeah, looks like manually disconnected. So
he crashed, and let's see what happened here.
It looks like he just pulled off to the side here and ended up exiting out. So not sure if sometimes life happens and you have to hop out of the race, and hopefully everything is okay and good with Levi.
I mean, it happens. But, I won't say, kind of like when my dogs are fighting and I park the car on the side of the road.
as for a while, I was calling you Jimmy Michael Vick Covert. Yeah, exactly.
Dogs just decided to fight for no apparent reason. Just had to I was like, dang it, park the car. I mean, at least I pulled off the track, but out of the racing line, but still, it's like one of those things like, dang it.
We'll see if we get the good to go this time by. Just trying to see if the 98 is going to catch back up to the field. Looks like we are.
It's about half a lap.
We are going to get going here. Pace car is in, and we are going to get going green. Green flag back in the air. Jason Christman back on the lead lap, but he's going to have some work to do as the field heading down into turn number 1. And you see Christman there on the map just heading out into turn number 3. So he's the entire front stretch away. So he's going to need another caution just to get back caught up to the field. But at least he's back on the lead lap. Got some fresh tires as well, just like everyone else in the field. Nobody taking any kind of flyers just yet. Actually, it looks like we did have a couple drivers come back into the pits to top off. And I think, you mentioned before the caution with Matthew Radford kind of driving those tires hard and working his way through the field very quickly. Now he finds himself back to the front, or literally going from back to front as he started dead last year in the field. He's now in first. Now, I think here is where he needs to now settle in and not continue to drive off those tires. That first run, given the fact of, knowing how far these drivers can make it on a fuel run, 25 laps is definitely not the extent of it. So he knows he can just, go out there and run hard, get through the field in those 25 laps, burn those tires off. Doesn't matter. You're getting that comp caution. You can come in there and hopefully get a good pit stop, get back out there and have a chance at the lead. And it's exactly what's happened here for Radford. But now he's going to have to settle in because he's got to make these tires last. You can split this thing off, and it's only one pit stop needed for the rest of the race. So do the drivers run the fuel tanks empty and then take tires and come back out, or do you split it in half? Do you come in here around lap 50 and split this thing directly in half? could be, a good strategy, and maybe that's where you'll see drivers drive really hard, kind of like Matthew did in the beginning. Drive hard for 25 laps, come in, get fresh tires, drive hard for the last 25, but he's got a battle on his hands now as Mike Casey to the inside for the lead. It looks like Billy Rickett going to follow suit and take over second.
Yeah, 97 kind of get hung on the outside, but you can see you do get a pretty good run out of one, as long as you can keep it off the wall. And he's going to keep that P number 2 and even get the momentum here to even go right alongside the 6. But the 6 has the line going into turn number 2 as they work their way through there and head off into turn number 3. But side-by-side action here for basically the front 5.
Yeah, the race is kind of officially started. It's not go time anywhere close to that yet. But these drivers know it's a little close to bumping and banging there at the front. These drivers know that the field can spread out. So as much as you don't want to push, you don't want to drive too hard here. You also don't really want to lose the pack. You want to try and stay up there. If you think you're a top 5 car, you got to kind of hang with them. You see a bit of a gap between 7th place Zane Bierman back to Matthew Scruffy Jordan in 8th.
Damaged.
And yeah, it looks like Zane Bierman has got some damage to that 55. No meatball, but you see that front end is not exactly nice and sheen as it was once before. And he's probably gonna have to come into the pits this time by and get that thing serviced. But what's gonna do is it's gonna put him off strategy, and it's not gonna be able to get him to the end. So he's gonna need another pit stop yet to get this thing done. So maybe you try and limp it around for a couple laps and try and sneak it into that pit window.
I think he needs to be out there for probably too long, Carl, and the amount of distance that he's losing is too great. But it does look like he's going to stay out for another lap or so, but he just lost so much speed that he's gone all the way from 5th all the way back into P number 10. So, losing a lot of spots here, and you can see it's still battling up front here. This is kind of good to see. Bradley Worley moving into P number 3, right behind Matthew Rappert as they chase down Mike Casey down the backstretch. Dale Gardner Jr. doing a fantastic job up 5 spots right now in at number 31, right in the bumper of Billy Rickett. Mayo overdrove turn number 2 just a little bit, opened the door for Paul Helms on that number 64 up into P number 6. Also want to give a shout out to Paul Helms, as if you were able to join before the race there a little bit. Got some 191 has a little anthem, so I'll share that with everybody at the beginning of the race, and enjoy a little bit of music that they put together. So AI does a fantastic job. You come up with lyrics, tell what kind of type of music you want, so you get your beat, and they put that together. So yeah, they did. They asked me this weekend, and I reviewed the one, and I was like, "Nope, gotta change something, boys." And they sent back one, cleaned it up a little bit for the general population, because you don't know who's here. We try to keep it as clean as possible on CRN. I don't know if somebody's children are watching, and not everybody's okay with cussing up the storm, so we try to keep that down as much as possible. It does slip every now and then. That's why it's marked, not for kids, but to kind of protect us on the YouTube side. But we try to make this as family friendly oriented as possible. Thoroughly enjoy the fans out there commenting and talking with each other along with us. You can see Renee out there, Mustang Cobra Boy. Don't see Barry though. I don't usually see Barry out there.
I'm on it, Jimmy. Realizing that as well, and just getting the damn text message, and okay, thanks. As Renee Barry is on his way. We'll just put that out there, and big Mike Casey fan here on Sunday nights. He'll be in attendance very soon, I'm sure, because I asked him, like, where are you? He's like, I'm at home. Well, where are you?
No, so, where are you?
on his way to the chat here, and we'll have our esteemed Barry, and there he is. Dan for everybody else out there as well.
Late, tardy.
Well, the good thing, Barry, is you haven't missed that too much. We had the comp caution, as we've had now 36 green flag laps other than the comp caution. Early the pole sitter and early leader of the race. The 98 of Jason Chrisman had some connection issues. got him back on the lead lap, but unfortunately not able to catch the field before they took the green flag under that comp caution. So that's why you see that pinkish purplish dot a little bit behind the field. Zane Bierman out there trying to limp his car around, got some damage on that 55.
He came in. He came in.
Oh, he did come in? Okay. Yep. So he came in to get the damage repaired, and will be down quite a bit here to the field, but still on the lead lap, just barely. And going to need another pit stop, just like everybody else out here tonight. Everybody is going to be on a one-stop strategy here to the end. I think it's pretty much locked in right now. Very close to being able to get to the end from here. So we'll see if and when drivers decide to come in, if they want to split this second part in half, or if they want to try and run this fuel out. But either way, it is the 97 of Matthew Radford started dead last, up to first. Mike Casey up there in second. Billy Rickett, Bradley Worley, Dale Garner Jr., your top 5. Paul Helms moves himself out up into 6th place. Matthew Jordan, Scott Anderson, Wade Enyart, and Richard Hartman, the third for your top 10. Jason Crispin back there in 11th, back on the lead lap. Zane Bierman is back quite a bit as well, but still on the lead lap in 12th. Levi Poland had some issues, not sure what happened, but he is out of the race. Your pole sitter, or not your pole sitter, your points leader, out of the race here for the number 91. And then Tony Brennan had a meatball earlier in the race, did not serve it, and ended up getting DQ'd here. So we are down to 12 cars left in this race, but it's been a pretty good one here to start. Jimmy, we're past that halfway point, so why don't we go ahead and crank it up for everyone out there. Let Barry get a little breather in, and give everyone out there in Sierra Nation would love to hear it.
Barry can catch up with the fans out there, because I think they like Barry just as much as everybody else. So yeah, but we'll go into a little bit. Love to hear it.
Sights and sounds here from the 191 Motorsports here on Sunday nights as we are starting to see some pit stops for the final time here tonight, unless we get a late race caution or something like that. But looks like we do have a meatball. Not sure what happened to Scott Henderson, as looks like some severe damage, but he had yet to make his pit stop, so I guess no better time than now. But you see that that front right, not exactly great. Hopefully gets it wound up in time, and he can serve the meatball and get that final pit stop done as well. But we already seen a few drivers in. Matthew Scruffy Jordan already in. Dale Garner Jr., you just seen him come in. Zane Bierman pit on lap number 34, which we believe is going to be out of the Roman possibility. And there you go. Now he's coming in again here on lap number 55. That's right. He came in to get the damage repaired. Now he's going to come in for his actual pit stop. But you see plenty of the leaders still staying out there, and right now your top 8 have yet to come in to make their pit stop. Still battle for the lead. It's been a good battle between the 6 and the 7. Please don't, anybody out there. But the 7 right now, Billy Rickett is in front, so it's right now it's 7-6, so it doesn't count. And Michael Casey in second, and right behind them, Matthew Radford just kind of been just bird dogging him the entire time here, and just watch them. Go ahead, you guys mixed up, do your battles. I'm just gonna hang back here and watch, and then figure out when I'm gonna make my final pit stop. But it's been a good one here tonight. Caution free for the first 50.
Yeah, caution free for the first 50. See drivers coming in. Jason Crispin coming in. Was all the way up to P number, I think, 8 at one point. So pretty good for having some computer issues. Definitely one of those times where you're like, what might have, could have been if we would have had a caution. Not too many drivers out here, and a few drivers calling it quits early. Tony Brennan, Levi Poland. So only 12 drivers out there. Does make it a little bit harder for cautions to come out, but it only takes 2 cars. Actually, it only takes 1 car to have a caution come out. But Billy Rickett is your leader right now over Mike Casey, Matthew Radford, and then Paul Helms back there in P number 4 currently. Bradley Worley there is in 5th. Then wait in your up to P number 6, up 5 spots. Richard Hartman in 7th, and Matthew Scruffy Jordan in 8th, Dale Garner Jr. in 9th, and then Jason Crispin now in 10th. Scott Henderson in the pits. Tires up, or his sides up. But it does look like he's in trouble going down. But the 97 Matthew Radford will break off this time by to come down the pits, maybe trying to short pit Billy Rickett and Michael Casey if they have to come in. But you can just watch some of these cars, the ones that have pitted a little bit later, like Matthew Scruffy Jordan was in on lap 39, can make it possibly the rest of the way. I was told at the beginning of the race that the pit window was right around 36 to 38 laps, which is quite a good distance here at Pocono for sure.
You get to see a few drivers at times stop into the chat when they're not able to get to the race here. So it looks like Justin Spengler out there rooting on Scruffy to get the win here tonight. And yeah, notice it's been caution free here tonight without Justin Spengler in the field. So take that with what you will, and we'll go from there. But either way, definitely a little lighter field here tonight. I'm guessing again the real life racing certainly played a bit of a part here for the season opener for NASCAR being at Daytona here today. But either way, we are live as usual here for the 191 Motorsports. It's been a really good race here so far. Billy Rickett still in the lead, and it is now down to the top 6 that have yet to make a pit stop, and that being Billy Rickett, Michael Casey, Paul Helms, Bradley Worley, Wade Enyart, and Richard Hartman III still to make their pit stops. And I would assume we're going to probably see them in the next few laps here. Everybody is good to go to the end on fuel. Nobody's going to have to make another pit stop of the ones that already came in. Matthew Scruffy Jordan's the only one that's, kind of maybe on the edge, pitting on lap number 39. Should be good to go to the end of this thing, and maybe saving here a little bit just to make sure. But He is first in line of all the drivers that came into the pits. So we'll see where it all shakes out right now. You see him passing way down here to the inside. I had to go to the outside there of Richard Hartman, going through the corner as Hartman maybe trying to stretch this thing out on fuel as much as possible, but now getting passed here by Zane Bierman, who is down a lap currently until everyone comes into the pits.
Yeah, and obviously Scruffy's not. I don't think he's planning on coming in. To be honest, I'm gonna say that the 23 is gonna try to stretch this thing to the end. 21 more laps to go. We just kind of wondered where Scruffy was at the beginning here, and just kind of noticed he's kind of he fell back through the field. He was quite a ways behind, so maybe just saving early. And it takes a lot to kind of think like that. Like, all right, maybe I'm not the fastest car, but maybe I can win this thing here on a little bit of strategy. So put that strategy into play, and if it comes to fuel, you'll want to start it early if you're going to try to extend out your tank. Doing a good job right now, up in that 5th position, only down 1 spot from the start. Mike Casey is leading right now, got back in front of Billy Rickett, both up a spot. Paul Helms up 6 spots, and Pete number 3, so 64, having a good night so far. The 88 of Bradley Worley in 4th. We already said Jordan's in 5th, Wade Inyart and Pete number 6. And then you have Matthew Radford in 7th, Dale Garner Jr. in 8th, and Jason Christman back up there in the top 10, NP number 9. Richard Hartman, the 3rd, back there in 10th. Zane Bierman is going to be in 11th, and then Scott Henderson out there a couple laps down, so he's in the pits a little bit longer. He's down 3 laps, Carl.
Yeah, well, he did have a penalty to serve, is what the case was. We're not sure if it was from the entry or from the exit. I'm not sure if you can get a black flag and be able to serve it while you're coming in to serve the meatball as well. So I might have gotten one from the entry anyway. So he did have to come back into the pits. But now you see Paul Helms into the pits. Already seen Richard Hartman, the 3rd, come into the pits. Now Bradley Worley going to join Helms in the pits. So we're getting close to completing that pit cycle right now. Again, the first person in line that has already made their pit stop is the 23 of Matthew Scruffy Jordan. We'll see where he slots in once everyone that makes their pit stops. Now, even if he does move up to the front, he's going to be on older tires for sure compared to everybody else, and we'll see how it works out. And actually, it looks like maybe only 2 tires or no tires for the 23 here tonight on that pit stop on lap number 39. But we are down to, looks like the final 2 drivers, the top 2, and they are going to come in right now. Michael Casey, Billy Rickett diving into the pits. Both of them get in there, no black flags, but it's Casey that leads Rickett into the pits. Now, out of turn number 2 is Scruffy Jordan heading down into turn number 3. We'll see if he's got enough of a run to get into the lead. Matthew Radford right behind him. He pit on lap number 52, so certainly the 97 has got a lot fresher tires, let alone the fact that he's got tires and Scruffy Jordan may not have any. So he should be able to run down this 23, but we're going to see where they file out when it comes to Mike Casey. Billy Rickett still in pit lane. Matthew Radford is going to have a sizable lead.
We're coming in just a little bit early, taking that undercut here, and working on catching up to Jordan. Going to look to the outside. Really,
maybe
make a decision. Make a decision, boys. 97 thought about going to the inside of the 23, but 23 was down just a little bit too far. But when they get together, and the leaders collide.
They're still straight, so it's not going to bring out a caution here, as what was going to be a sizable lead is now going to end in 2 meatballs here, as it looked like Jordan overdrove the corner here in turn number 2 just a little bit too much, slid up the wall, and it is going to end up being a caution here, as race admin going to throw the caution here since there were a couple of cars involved, even though they stayed straight. And we are going to be under only our 2nd caution here of the night, including the comp caution. We'll take a look at it here again. Some close racing down the Long Pond Straight, and it looked like maybe the 23 just a little bit too deep into turn number 2 and pushed up into the 97, and that caused our caution here tonight.
Yeah, I think the 23 was aware that if the 97 gets around, he was losing the lead, and 97 on much fresher tires. Had that outside, but you can see a 23 just turning. They see the front tires are turning, and he just was just pushing to the outside. No grip on them fronts at all. Ends up coming up into the 97. 97 and nowhere to go, and they end up getting together here. 23 sideways is a 97, or 97 try to push them around. So hopefully they're able to get down the pits, get the repairs done of these things. I think everybody's going to end up coming in and getting fresh tires here, Carl. Regardless, I don't, if I'm Dale Garner Jr., see, I was in on lap 48. Yeah, I'm probably coming in with, new tires. I know he has position, but if the whole field comes in behind him and he stays out, he's going to end up pretty much out of it here. Now, some of these drivers might stay out. That I don't know, but I don't know if I'd want to be out there on 59. So maybe Casey and Rickett would stay out. The rest I could see coming in. But this is huge help, and probably huge not what other drivers want to see, especially the likes of that 6 and the 7. And Mike Casey gonna stay out.
This is surprising here. I mean, it's only one lap, green flag running for these drivers, but surprising a split strategy between the 6 and the 7 here, as Rickett gonna come into the pits. It looks like only a few cars are gonna stay out here. Definitely going to be a big benefit for some of them as they're going to move their way up there. Not sure if Matthew Jordan or Matthew Radford will end up getting any well at all for being involved in the wreck. But right now, the way it stands, it is Mike Casey, Paul Helms, Wade Enyart, Matthew Jordan, Matthew Radford for your top 5. Billy Rickett is in the pits. Jason Chrisman, Zane Bierman, the rest of the field in the pits. And it looks like Rickett is going to be able to get out first. So he'll be the first one in line with, I'm showing only a 3.6 second pit stop, so I'm not sure what happened there. If maybe he's just getting a little extra fuel to make sure he can make it on a green-white checkered. Very interesting to see how this thing is playing out here. But I'm thoroughly confused.
A little confused, and that's okay. We're in the booth. We're allowed to be confused as long as the drivers know what they're doing or what they want to try to get done here tonight. Mike Casey is going to be your leader. Paul Helms is currently in second with Wade Enyart in third. Billy Rickett's going to come back out in fourth with Matthew Scruffy Jordan and Jason Chrisman up there, fifth and sixth. Dale Garner Jr., Matthew Radford, Zane Bierman, Bradley Worley, top 10. Richard Hartman in 11th. And then Henderson is going to still be a few laps down. So 12 cars still out there of the 14. Our first caution here with only 16 laps to go.
I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in. If you haven't done so, you hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything SCRN has to offer. And maybe, if you're married at least, hit that little bell. If you want to hit that little bell, it gives you notification when CRN is live. So you don't have to worry about being late and missing a race here. You can be in here and on time. But either way, good to see everybody out there and enjoying the racing here tonight. I want to thank our sponsors as well, being One Vision, EMS, and Transports, and also Kim's Cups and More, as they are your one-stop shop for all your apparel needs. Whether it's a custom 20-ounce tumbler to fill with your favorite post-race beverage, a 40-ounce glitter tumbler for your morning coffee after you were up all night celebrating that win, or custom clothing apparel with your favorite team, sponsor, or maybe your favorite broadcasters.
Wink, wink.
A custom license plate for your everyday ride. Even mouse pads to help you rearrange that pesky new UI. You can choose from already created products or have them custom made to your liking, whatever your pleasure. Kim's Cups and More has it all. Check them out on Facebook today. That's Kim's Cups with a K and more. We are going to be looking at Go Green this time by, so we'll be at 16 laps left in this race. So plenty of racing yet to go. And certainly not anywhere near go time just yet, but a lot of these drivers got some fresh tires on, Jimmy. I think they may be getting the itch.
Yeah, if they might have been a little bit easy on, knowing that they had to go a certain amount of laps and hold on to them tires. But Carl, they're in the window. 15 laps. We've seen Matt Radford, work his way from the back to the front early on, and now he's in that same position again. So will the 97 be able to complete that, plow through the field as he did before? He definitely had the speed. But now you have the likes of Jason Chrisman back in the mix here. currently sitting in fourth. So a lot of stuff going on here, and got Wade Inyard up here in P number 3 currently. So I'm hoping the best here for Wade to get a good start and hold on to it and get himself maybe a top 5 here tonight.
I'm not sure if you're going to need any of that no-nos from Scott Anderson, because we're back to racing here at Pocono, and it's about to heat up here a little bit. And as Justin said out there, it is about to get a little spicy here as we got some action towards the back of the pack, and that may end up being another caution. Not sure if that was any kind of repercussions between the 98 and the 23 from before. I'm sorry, the 97 and the 23 from before, but that is going to bring out a caution here. And you see them get together again, heading down into turn number 1. And maybe some tempers flaring here a little bit at the tricky triangle, as we are going to be under 10 laps to go once we get completed with this caution. And now it gets interesting, because now for drivers like Mike Casey, Paul Helms, drivers that stayed out under that caution, sure, you only had, basically a lap and a half green flag running on those tires. But now it's going to be closer to about 10 laps since you last took those tires, compared to some drivers that may come in on this pit stop. Maybe some of the ones that just came in for fresh tires on the last pit stop. If they still got another set in there, I think I'm coming in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a call. I mean, at least right, Carl. I mean, we talked about the 2-tire stop. At least for some of them drivers in the back, maybe just to get that slight advantage, being able to rotate that car a little bit easier. We do know the car tightens up pretty quickly, but only 13 laps to go. It doesn't seem like much, but Pocono's a pretty long track.
Yeah, it is, and I know there hasn't been that much green flag running, but you're still using a little bit of tires, while you're out there. So we'll see who decides to come in and make their pit stops. Right now, it's Mike Casey, Paul Helms, Billy Rickett, Wade Enyart, and Dale Garner Jr. for your top 5. Should be picking up the pace car this next time by, and we'll get this thing back going here. Hopefully, there's no issue with the pace car, because I know sometimes at Pocono, when the pace car is in pit road and it hasn't parked yet, another caution comes out, it could sometimes get a little wonky. But it looks like they are picking up the pace car here on the front stretch. So there we go. Not sure if the pit road was open that time by or not, but should be open next time by, and then we'll see if any takers to pit road, and see who's going to shake this thing up at the end, because we're definitely going to be under 10 laps to go when we get this thing back green.
Yeah, Lucky Dog should go to the number 72 of Scott Henderson, so he can be only 1 lap down. So another caution, put him right back on the lead lap, and plenty of time for another caution to fly here. As things are at that point, under getting to that 10 laps to go, and elbows come out, and everybody's trying to protect their spot. Pocono's a wide track, as you can see, about at least 4 lanes wide, 4.5 lanes wide. So it's pretty easy to go 3 wide, but when you come to some of those corners, 2 wide is about as max as you want to go, as you can cause problems and cause incidents. But it's kind of deceiving, I guess, how wide these tracks are sometimes, and those corners just looks like there's room, but there's really not.
Yeah, it's not that much banking here, and when you come off these corners at such a high speed, the car naturally wants to drift out to the outside, but you don't realize how quick those walls come up on you. And we've seen quite a few cars catch the wall coming out of turn number 1 onto the Long Pond Straight, and you see it every once in a while coming off of turn number 3 as well. And we've seen some drivers get meatballs because of it as well. So, kind of really be really cautious here. I mean, as much as you want to go after it here, as we're going to be down to the final few laps of this race, you got to keep that car underneath you. I mean, you're not going to win if you have a meatball. Even if you cross the line first, you're going to get penalized. So you got to keep that car under control. And it looks like we are not going to have anyone come into the pits. Should be getting the 1 to go this time by. We'll double them up, and we are going to have, looks like, we're going to have 9 laps to go left in this race, as Scott Henderson rejoining the back of the field right now. I thought maybe he was going to duck into the pits, but he's going to stay out, and he'll rejoin the field. We'll get this thing back underway.
Staying underway, and we'll be down to 10 laps to go. And we talked about the elbows coming out, and I'm sure they're going to fly here. Hopefully, they can keep it together here tonight and, run this thing green. They've had a fantastic race so far. Great 65 laps, only a couple cautions. And it can tend to happen here at Pocono, but, because of the nature of the track, the different corners and whatnot. But I think we're going to be seeing some great racing to the finish. We've seen some great top 5 running there even after the pit stops.
Yeah, elbows out. I don't mind. It's when the fists come out that it almost seems like we're having that here a little bit here at the end of this thing. But either way, hopefully drivers have gotten that out of their system, and we can get this thing back to some green flag racing. But I think it's going to be mighty racy here to the end of the race here tonight, and we'll see if we get our 9th different winner of the season, or if it's somebody that's going to be a repeat winner. Certainly, the one that can benefit the most from this is Mike Casey, the one at the front right now with Levi Poland having some issues here tonight, and had to pull out of this race for whatever reason. Again, hopefully everything is good on the end of Levi over there, but going to be losing quite a bit of points here tonight, especially if Mike Casey is able to grab his 3rd win of the season. But pace car is going to be off. It's going to be in control here by the 6 on the front stretch. And this is a tricky restart here. Not that it's difficult, but you got to be wary of somebody trying to get a good restart with you and sending it down into turn 1. But it looks like the 6 gets a good restart. The 7 of Billy Rickett going to join him down on the inside of Paul Helms and take over 2nd.
Come out of Pete at turn 1. To keep it off the wall there as they head down the backstretch. So you see drivers fight for position. Real close here. The Bradley Ward tagged the wall just a little bit coming down into turn number 2.
Turn 2 there. Looks like everyone keeps it off the wall. Heading into turn number 3, it is Casey, followed by Rickett, Helms, Chrisman, and Enyart for your top 5. Pole sitter on the night, led the first good chunk of this race, and Jason Chrisman has kind of been given his golden ticket here. The connection definitely looks better. You can see him out there, so that's a good thing. And he's worked his way back up into 4th, now to the outside of Helms to look and try and take back 3rd. And if I'm Mike Casey and Billy Rickett, I want Paul Helms to hold him back as long as possible, because that 98 is definitely got some speed here tonight. But it looks like we're going to have another caution here. And again, it's going to be Matthew Radford involved in this one, and another meatball flag on this. But it looks like, I thought it was Netco, but it looks like the 88 drifts up here, collects the back of the 97, and Radford going to be sent again back to the pits.
Yeah, Radford comes around right in front of the 23. Like magnets here tonight between these two. 23 able to avoid the 97 this time by the 97 and the 88 get together. 97 tags a wall, gets a meatball, come down to the inside. Caution flag flies here yet again with 8 laps to go.
But we will rack him back up here once again, and we're going to be down under 5 laps to go at this point, and we'll see if we can get some green flag racing to get to the end here. It was a great start to the race. Good, 60 laps or so, caution free aside from the comp caution, but now starting to get a little bit chippy, and here maybe just a little bit aggressive there from both the 97 diving in the middle and the 88 kind of getting in there and just pushing up a little bit, collecting the back end of it. But it looks like the 97 is at least able to drive away, and he'll be able to get it back to pit road to get the meatball cleared. If he's got another faster pair, these drivers do have 2 faster pairs on the night, along with 4 sets of tires in the pits. And now, if you're anybody in the field, other than maybe the top 2, do you dare come into the pits? I mean, Paul Helms is in a great spot here in 3rd, and you see did some good battling with Billy Rickett to try and hold him back there, but he's got a little bit older tires than the cars in front of him, only by 2-3 laps. But I mean, it could be maybe a big benefit at this point in the race. It's now been over 10 laps since you've been in the pits, and regardless of how many green flag laps you had on those tires, they're worn even a little bit. and some fresh tires could possibly get you some positions here at the end of the race. That could get you from possibly 10th back up to 3rd if nobody else pits. Maybe not, but we are going to see a pit stop here from Wade Enyart at the front. Looks like Matthew Radford going to come in to get the meatball flag cleared. But everyone else electing to stay out.
Yeah, Scott Henderson should get the lucky dog here, I believe, putting him back on the lead lap, and I would come right into the pits, get some fresh tires, and yeah, you're going to see the 72. Could be sitting pretty here if the 72 executes this right way. Get around here, get the lucky dog, get around, get in the pits, get some fresh tires. At least, like I said, at least 2. I'll help that 72 possibly come up a few positions here. Currently sitting in P number 12. Give him the ability to battle there to get into the top 10. So hopefully not sleeping on this one. Those no-dos are kicking in. 72 might find their way into the top 10 yet here tonight after going a few laps down. Find himself on the on the lead lap in the closing 10.
Hopefully we can finish this thing under green and we can see some good battling here to the end. I mean, last week, Speed Weeks here on CRN with a lot of the series at Daytona, we've seen 3 great finishes. I mean, it's Daytona doesn't disappoint when it comes to action, whether it's caution filled or not. We usually get a good run to the green or to the checkered flag, and we've definitely seen 3 great finishes. Hoping to see another one here tonight to start off the week, and maybe, regardless of the cornracingleague.com algorithm or not, putting Billy Rickett all the way at the bottom when you sort for wins, maybe he can finally get sorted up there in the top 9 and finally crack through and get his first win of the season. Maybe we'll even get to talk to him after the race, but I'm not going to hold my breath just yet on the win or talking to him.
I'm not holding my breath.
We still got plenty of racing yet to go. Even though we're going to be under 5 laps to go, that's still a lot here at Pocono, and it's still 15 turns that they got to maneuver around this track, and each one of them being a little bit different, all posing their own little trickiness here at the triangle. But Mike Casey at the front, Billy Rickett, Jason Christman, Paul Helms, and Dale Garner Jr. for your top 5. Then Zane Bierman back up there in the action after he had the damage, went down a lap. He is now himself made a nice little comeback up to 6th place. Bradley Worley, Matthew Jordan, Richard Hartman, and Matthew Radford for your top 10.
Been a while since I did a race here, Carl. Kind of thinking strategy. What are your expectations? Like, I guess if you're somebody like Zane Bierman or Jason Christman, you want to try to get up there and get in the front. Like, how hard are you pushing? Are you trying to make something work, or are you just waiting for that opportunity to possibly get by? Because we know passing here at Pocono is not always the easiest.
Well, first strategy is I'm wondering if maybe the crew chief for the 72 there, Scott Henderson, is not using the sponsor no-dos, because I'm really surprised he did not come in the pits there to get some fresh tires and work his way through the field, unless somehow he's already used all 5 sets of tires. But as far as your leaders here, it's tough, because you want to make that move quickly, because you can do some decent defending here at Pocono by taking some defensive lines. But ultimately, if a car is faster than you, if a driver's faster than you, they're probably going to find a way around. The turn that I would more likely see somebody kind of make the move is in turn 1, whether it's entering in a different line, or maybe cutting down and trying to get a good run to get the side draft down the Long Pond straight. If you can do that, a lot of times that'll be kind of the winning pass, because you're not going to most likely see any kind of passing through turn number 2, and very seldom do you see any kind of passing in turn 3 unless somebody has a bad exit out of the tunnel turn. But we'll see how it plays out here. Mike Casey out to a great restart here, but so is the 7 and the 98 on the outside. They'll be 2nd and 3rd. Now Jason Christman dives to the inside here into turn number 1. Billy Rickett up 3 lanes there. And that's kind of the preferred 2nd lane here at Pocono, is up on that 3rd lane as everyone makes it out of turn number 1 without brushing the wall. But now some more action, and again Matthew Jordan going to get involved in this one. I think again it was the 97 of Matthew Radford.
We'll take a look back here, see what happened. We'll slow it down and just slightest nudge gets that 23 out of shape. And again, it's like almost like a mirror. I need to double check I was in the right spot of the selecting replays. With the 97 and 23 get together, and 23 going for a slide. Doesn't look like taking too much damage. So I know he's had to take a few fast repairs here tonight. So hopefully that car is in okay shape in order to get him to the end.
Both the mats not playing nice with each other here tonight for sure, in a little bit of a mat measuring contest. But it looks like it's going to bring us another caution. But where it's going to get interesting now is now we are going to go into overtime, or at least very close to it, I believe. So any kind of issues for fuel, I'm sure these drivers were already saving fuel under these cautions, and they should be good to go on fuel. But again, now we're getting even further out from that last pit stop, and it's getting even more time on those tires. Again, still not that many green flag laps, but it's still wearing a little bit. And I mean, you know, last time these drivers came in, Mike Casey in on lap 57, Billy Rickett, Jason Christman in on lap 59, Paul Helms in on 56. We're seeing cautions, breeding cautions right now on these restarts, which typically doesn't happen at a track like Pocono. But I think if I'm anywhere outside the top 3, at least, I'm considering coming in, taking fresh tires if I got them in there, because fresh tires here through 1 and even turn 2 could pay some huge dividends by the time you get to turn 3.
Yeah, not sure who has time. I wish there was a way to tell there was tires, but then I'm sure everybody else would have that add-on. To kind of see who has what, and drivers obviously trying to do what they can to get any kind of advantage here. If you're in the back, you're already, you're Richard Hartman or Scruffy, Wade Inyard, Scott Henderson, anybody. If you got tires, you're that far back, I come in, take them dang things. Ain't gonna hurt. It's probably gonna be the last one. I do see Scruffy going in, getting things. I've seen a fake out here as well by somebody. But only Scruffy coming in. So hopefully he's got another fast repair, or at least a set of tires. Get that 23 kind of put back together again to give him another run here. But yeah, heating up at the back of the pack. Not typically what we see as the front are battling out for a spot. But again, Mike Casey holding on here, and obviously being able to get that jump on the field. It's not a bad thing, especially here at Pocono. The draft isn't like Daytona, where if you get this huge run that a jump off from everybody, you just get ran over. It's not quite like that here at Pocono, because of the corners and whatnot. So we'll see if the 6 can hold on over the 7 of Billy Rickett. It's not the first time we've seen the 6 and 7 dancing. But the Jason Christman obviously would like to get back to get a great finish. Fell back early, had internet connections, was able to get back up on the lead lap, and then catch a caution and get caught back up to the field. So the story lies there with the number 98 tonight, trying to possibly get up there and win. Paul Helms been running really strong tonight in the number 64 and sitting in P number 4. The 31 of Dale Garner Jr. as well has been running really well. He's in the top 5, just kind of hanging there. Hasn't been able to put the 31 to the front, but he's been hanging there all night long. Zane Bierman, just kind of some tough luck, snagging the wall a little bit here and there, caught some damage. Was able to bring it in, not under caution, stay in the lead lap, and just kind of keep hanging on. Currently sitting in P number 6, so still doing a great job. Bradley Worley, we've seen him up there early as well. Matthew Radford sitting up there in 8. We've seen him in number 97 have his fair share of interesting moments tonight. The 72 Scott Henderson is in the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. Has made it back up there. And the P number 9 and Wade Inyard is sitting in 10th. Matthew Scruffy Jordan back here in 11th, but still a few laps to go before this thing is wrapped up.
It looks like we've also lost Richard Hartman III here from the race, so we're going to be down to 11 cars here in the race, all of them on the lead lap. But keep an eye on those drivers with fresh tires. Again, I'm kind of scratching my head wondering why some of these drivers did not elect to come in and get some fresh tires. I'm sure those drivers have tires, because
Where's Christian going?
Come in maybe a couple times for tires. So looks like Jason Christman in the back of the field here But
Sure
kind
what
of
that was
questioning
about.
that here. But either way, certainly keep an eye on drivers like Wade Enyart. He's got brand new tires from lap 68, as does Matthew Radford. Matthew Jordan just coming in the pits here on lap number 75. Got the repairs done, and he's got fresh tires. So drivers at the back of the field here got some freshies, looking to try and make their way up through the field. It's going to be green-white checkered attempt number 1 here, just a little bit over overtime here, as we'll get the green flag this time by, then the white and the checkered. So we're going to be 2 laps into overtime at this point. We'll see if that's enough to get them done here. We do have 2 attempts for the green-white checkered here at 191. And the way it's been going here in the second half of the race, we may see both of them get used up here before the end, because there's definitely some drivers getting used up one way or another here tonight. And looks like getting an answer out there in chat that Jason Chrisman having some connection issues again, and that's why he is put to the back here, so he doesn't factor into any kind of issues to the end. But green flag is back out. We are racing again here at Pocono. Good start from the front of the field here. Mike Casey gets a good jump. Billy Rickett, Dale Garner Jr. battling down the front stretch. Garner Jr. with a slight edge on the inside, but we know Rickett doesn't mind being on that outside, as he's been able to hold on to second a few times here in the second lane. But it looks like Garner getting a slight edge, but you see that outside line gets a great run off the corner, and Rickett going to move right back into second. Garner's going to slide up in front of Worley for third.
They take that momentum. Worley's going to go ahead and give the 31 a shove as they head down into turn number 2, as Worley comes down, kind of defends from Zane Bierman, looking down below. 64 looking down below as well, trying to follow the 55 of Zane Bierman as they head off into turn number 3. Your leader is Mike Casey. Billy Rickett following with number 31 of Dale Garner Jr. in third. Bradley Worley is in fourth. Zane Bierman in fifth.
And now's the time to use every bit of tires that they got, as we got a couple of cars that get shot off down the inside. Scott Henderson, Wade Enyart shot down into the pits. You see some major damage there from Wade Enyart, but the white flag does come out. 1 lap to go here at Pocono. Here is the race for the win. Mike Casey in the lead, looking for his 3rd win of the season, and maybe even looking to take over the points lead as well. Billy Rickett looking to finally get the demons off his back and get his first win of the season. But he's got to get around that 6 first. They head off down to turn number 2. Rickett gets a little bit lower, but can't get a good drive off the corner, as it's going to be a couple car length separation between the 6 and the 7 into turn number 3. Rickett dives it down low, uses the grass a little bit, and that may actually cost him, as he's going to slip up out of the line.
Nope.
The 6 is going to come back at the victory lane here. 3rd win of the season. Mike Casey takes Pocono.
And Mike Casey getting the win here at Pocono over Billy Rickett, Dale Garner Jr. for your top 3. Zane Bierman does look like possibly in 4th, with Matthew Radford finishing in 5th, and Bradley Worley, Jason Chrisman, Paul Helms, Scruffy Jordan in 9th. Scott Henderson will finish in, looks like to be 10th, and Wade Enyart in 11th. And then obviously the drivers that dropped out, Richard Hartman, Levi Poland, and Tony Brennan. But what a race here tonight at Pocono. Bring up the results here and for everybody to see. I'll get the other stuff off the screen so it's clear. There you go.
Good run there for Jason Chrisman to get himself back up into 7th after having to get sent to the back because of the connection issues. Hopefully he gets that cleared up, because he was clearly a fast car here tonight, and a shame that he had to settle for a 7th place finish here tonight when he was probably, at minimum a top 3 car here, and maybe a big factor for the win. But definitely a good run there to the end, and we've seen a good battle between the 6 of Mike Casey and the 7 of Billy Rickett to finalize this thing here tonight. But it's going to be Mike Casey on top of the boards to get his 3rd win of the season. And again, with Levi Poland not being here, being here but not having a full race in tonight here, only finishing back there in 13th, could very well put that 6 to the top of the boards with only 4 races remaining. We'll take a look, and you see this is the incident that happened coming to the white flag, as Wade Enyart drifted up and getting into Scott Henderson. Looks like maybe even net code both times there for the contact, but both of them get sent down into the pit road entrance, and I think Scott Henderson makes out a little bit better than Wade Enyart, but both of them certainly severe damage to their cars, and they're going to be the end of their nights right there. Won't be able to cross for the checker flag, but we'll get our two of our top three in for an interview. I'm sure we won't get a chance to talk to Billy Rickett, but either way, want to thank everyone out there for tuning in tonight. Hit that like and subscribe and that bell if you need to, and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. And I want to thank Kim Compson Moore and One Vision EMS and Transports for all their help they do for the league. But we'll get our top three. Looks like they are all ready to go. We'll go ahead and start with our third place finisher, Jimmy. It's going to be the 31 of Dale Garner Jr.
Hey, Dale, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth to copy.
Yeah, I got you guys. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good. 31 was on fire tonight up front for the most of the evening here. A very interesting race, but we want to hear from your side of the story. How was it out there tonight?
Well, I hate this track, so I was just on my toes all night. I'm still learning it. I did some races throughout the week, and it kind of helped me learn the line a little bit. The start of the race, I couldn't hit the tunnel turn, but I just slowly started to work it out, and that's where I started to pick my time up, actually.
We definitely started to dial things in after that comp caution, and it led you to being up in the top 5 for most of the evening here, and able to kind of sneak up there into the top 3, obviously granting you a podium position here tonight. And just one of those things that obviously want to recognize how well you were doing, and getting up here tonight. I wanted to say congratulations, but most of all, just want to give you a little bit of time for any shouts you might have.
I want to shout out my mom for watching every week. She roots me on, even though I don't ever finish well. I just can't seem to put it together these last couple seasons. Hopefully I get another win. I got a win at Richmond season 2, so hopefully I got one coming before the end of the season. If not, keep cheering me on, Mom. Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge to get out there with your peers and get yourself a victory, as the competition is always steep towards the top. So again, congratulations on the great finish here, though, and we'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And shout out to Brenda out there rooting on the 31, as Dale Garner Jr. going to finish up here in third place here tonight in the Remington number 31. Second place here tonight is Billy Rickett, but of course, he doesn't like to talk to us. He's holding out for that win.
Billy.
We're holding out for that as well. But either way, top spot here tonight is going to go to the 6 of Mike Casey. Mike, you get your third win here on the season. Some issues or whatever it may be for Levi Poland could very well put you right up to the top spot in the standings as well, with 4 races left. So this has got to feel like a really big win here late in the season.
Yeah, anytime you win, man, it always feels good, especially here at 191. We've this league has gotten a lot faster. We've got a lot of drivers that have really been very fast this season, and I don't know what happened to Levi. We tried to key up on the comms and see what was going on, so I'm sure he would have been up here mixing it up with us. It was good racing with everybody tonight. Billy did a good job. Jason was very fast. Jason had some internet connection problems, so unfortunately that kind of put a damper on him, but he did a good job of making his laps back and getting his laps back and then racing back up through the field. So, DJ did a good job tonight. So we didn't have the driver count that we would like to have seen, but, it did make for some long green flag runs tonight. So hopefully it was a good show for everybody. And yeah, it was fun. And yeah, it definitely feels good to get the number 6 back in victory lane here.
Well, it certainly wasn't easy, and a kind of atypical Pocono race with quite a few cautions here late in the second half of the race. You guys went about 60 caution-free other than the comp caution, then a little bit of cautions in the back half of this race. How did that play into strategy at all? Was there ever any thoughts after you made your what ended up being your final pit stop there for tires on lap 57? Any thoughts of coming in with, kind of so many cautions building up, even though you didn't have that many laps on green flag laps on the tires, they still wear a little bit?
Oh yeah. It was one of those things where, with being the lead car, I think everybody probably would have did the opposite of what I did. And I didn't want to get mirrored back and have to go through a little bit of traffic. Like I said, we didn't have a ton of cars tonight, but anytime you get mirrored back on fresh tires, it's always hard to get back through the field without getting into something. And yeah, the tire drop off is pretty bad here. The track was a little spicy tonight. So, of course I got yelled at for that. So, yeah, it was my fault, but, yeah, the tires, you get about 2 laps and you could definitely feel the tire fall off tonight. So I kind of thought about it. I thought about just taking right sides and maybe a little fuel to balance the car out. But overall, I'll just stay out and see where the chips fall. So.
I mean, listen, the track's only 102 degrees. I've had tracks in the 120s before, so they getting their panties in a twist a little bit about 102. But it was certainly some drivers, maybe hot under the collar here, doing some hard racing in the second half of the race, and you had to do some hard racing there with Billy Rickett at the end. And I mean, you want to talk about a driver that's been up there quite a bit this season and just cannot get the win here tonight. He was hungry out there to try and get it, and it looked like you just he was able to get maybe a little bit lower than you in turn 2 and even in turn 3, maybe a little bit too low in turn 3, but you were able to get those exits.
Yeah, that made a big difference, and it's always nice when you're the front car because you can kind of use that mirror to aero block a little bit. With these cars having the big spoilers on their back, you could take the nose off of somebody's car pretty good and really slow them up. So you definitely, it kind of stinks that you have to use that as a strategy, but with these lower horsepower packages and the bigger spoilers, it's kind of a tool that you have to use. So, and again, Billy's ran great all season. So I with us still only having a few races left, I wouldn't count him out. I mean, who knows? Billy could be up in victory lane next weekend at Homestead. So you never want to count Billy out because he's a hell of a driver, and it's always fun running up there with him for sure.
Well, listen, whatever happened to the 91 here tonight, the race over now, and like I said, a very well a good chance for you to be on the top of the standings here with just 4 races to go. So I mean, regardless of how the season's gone here, you don't have the most wins yet. You're only 1 behind Levi Pullen at this point, but very well could be on the top of the other points. So it's got to feel like a pretty good success here for the first 16.
Yeah, it feels good. We haven't been in victory circle since Talladega, and nothing against plate track wins, but I'd rather win on a track that's a little bit more technical. The plate track stuff, it does take some skill, but it's kind of a crapshoot. I got lucky when I won that, to be honest. I didn't think I had a chance, and to win that. So, and I do wish Levi would have stayed in it because I'd rather earn the wins and earn the points. I hate when anybody gets their race taken away from them due to an internet connection or whatever happened to Levi. We weren't sure. Like I said, we tried to reach him over the comms a couple times. So I hate that he missed out on some points tonight, and it would have been fun to get up there and race with him. Cause like I said, I'm sure Levi would have made his way to the front. He's a hell of a driver, and it's always fun, beating and banging and doing some hard racing with him. So.
It was definitely a good race by you, and you had that number 6 out front quite a bit here tonight. So you knew how to tackle the tricky triangle for the most part compared to everybody else. So congrats on the win here tonight, number 3 on the season. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
It was one of those battles with the 06-7 again, and I said it.
I brought it up when it was 7-6.
I know Jimmy's wanting to say
6-7. Who's gonna win? 6 or 7?
6 or 7. But like I said, hats off to you all at Core for putting on our shows. And as always, make sure you guys are following them and got the bells ring so y'all can keep up with not just us at 191, but these guys do a great job broadcasting other events. And who knows, sometimes I get invited up there to help them out. So it's been a lot of fun getting the opportunity to do that. I want to thank you guys again for that. But shout out to everybody at 191 that showed up tonight. Like I said, a little bit light on the driver count. So we missed quite a few of our key guys, and hopefully we can regroup and have a strong showing at Homestead. Pretty excited for that. But shout out to DJ and Billy, both on their podiums. And again, all the guys and drivers that showed up. One Vision EMS and Transport, Richard Hartman, thank you so much for helping us out. Thank you for being a part of tonight's race. Kim's Cups and more on Facebook. They are also a big help and a big sponsor for 191 Motorsports that helps everybody out. So we're excited for that. Obviously, everybody in YouTube land. Barry, my man, I seen you chatting away, and I appreciate that, Barry. I bet you my wife didn't watch 1 second of this. So, Barry, you're getting the shout out tonight. Sorry, wife, but it's what you get. And I mean that in a good way because I do love you. So,
well,
I love you too, Barry.
Better late than never for Barry as he got here a little bit late, but either way, it was early enough to see that 6 gets back to victory lane. So congrats again on your win here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you at Homestead.
All right, I appreciate you guys.
That is your winner here tonight, the 6 of Mike Casey, getting it done, holding off Billy Rickett there and in the run to the end. for it to finish 6-7. Yes, it finished 6-7. I get it. I get it. But moving on, we are now through 16 races. Race number 17 that will be at Homestead next week.
Mike's in trouble.
We are.
She's in the chat.
Yep. Exactly. Well, he may get to celebrate on the couch tonight. But either way, congrats to the 6 here again, and thank you to everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. Homestead next week under the lights, 125 laps, and then we'll head to Iowa, Talladega, and Vegas. That's all we got left in season number 4 here for the 191 Motorsports Gen 6 Cup Series. Make sure you tune in to the rest of the week as we got racing every day until Friday. So plenty of racing action here at CRN for myself and Jimmy here from the Tricky Triangle. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.